Harold had always been a proud man. At 78, he still woke up every morning at 6, shaved clean, tucked his shirt in, and polished his shoes, even if he wasn't going anywhere. Routine, he believed, was the foundation of dignity. But lately, he had noticed something different. It wasn't the stiffness in his knees, or the way he sometimes forgot where he placed his glasses. It was something less visible, something he couldn't name at first. It was the way people reacted when they leaned in to hug him. The subtle wince, the polite step back, the too quick shift in conversation. And then one day, standing in line at the pharmacy, a little girl tugged at her mother's sleeve and whispered a little too loudly, "Mom, that man smells weird." Harold froze. It wasn't cruel, it was innocent, honest, unfiltered. But it crushed him in a way that nothing else in his aging years had. He walked home that day slower than usual, his heart heavier than his feet. This is the part of aging no one talks about. We talk about retirement, heart health, bone strength, memory, but we don't talk about odor. We don't talk about what it feels like to wonder if your body is betraying you. Not in pain or illness, but in the quiet way it changes its scent. We don't talk about the shame, the awkwardness, the silent fear of becoming that old person people avoid. And yet, it happens to almost everyone after 60. It's not because of poor hygiene. It's not because you stopped caring. It's not even something you can always detect yourself. It's subtle, natural, and most importantly, it's fixable. But before we get to the solutions, we need to talk about the truth. Not with judgment, with compassion, understanding, and science. Because when we name the truth, we take away its power to shame us. And when we understand our bodies, we begin to honor them at every stage of life. This is a story about Harold, and about Martha, and Raymond, and Susan. It's a story about fear, embarrassment, discovery, and ultimately freedom. It's a story about how our bodies change, but how our dignity doesn't have to. And it's a story for every older adult who has ever wondered, is it just me? What's happening to my body? Why didn't anyone tell me? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the scent of aging and how to reclaim your confidence, one gentle habit at a time. Chapter 1. The science behind the scent. Harold sat by the window that evening, a gentle breeze slipping through the curtain. He had changed his shirt, again, for the third time that day. The scent was faint, but it was there, a mustiness, something he couldn't quite name. Not unpleasant, just different, foreign, like someone else's skin worn on top of his own. He asked himself the same question over and over. Why now? What changed? Is it something I did wrong? What Harold didn't know, what many people don't, is that the scent of aging is a real biological phenomenon. It even has a name. To be more specific, 2-nonenal. It's a compound that naturally forms on the skin as we age, especially after age 60. It's not a result of poor hygiene. It's not a sign of disease. It's simply the body's chemistry, evolving. But where does it come from? As we grow older, several key things change inside our bodies. Hormonal shifts. Levels of certain hormones, like estrogen and testosterone, drop with age. These changes influence the production of natural oils on the skin, particularly omega-7 unsaturated fatty acids, in our sebum, the oil that protects our skin. Oxidation process. These omega-7 acids oxidize more rapidly as we get older, especially when exposed to air. When oxidized, they form 2-nonenal. This compound has a slightly greasy, grassy, or stale smell, often hard to notice for the person themselves, but more easily detected by others. Slower skin renewal. The skin doesn't regenerate as quickly, which means dead skin cells and bacteria may accumulate. Combined with sweat and environmental factors, this creates a more persistent odor, even if you bathe regularly. Harold wasn't dirty, he wasn't unhygienic. He was simply aging, and his body was doing what bodies naturally do. Still, knowing the science didn't make the experience any less personal. Because body odor isn't just a physical thing, it's emotional. It affects how we feel about ourselves, how we interact with others, how we walk into a room or hesitate to leave the house at all. Harold started to wonder if it was better to stay home. He skipped his weekly card game. He sat at the back during church. The silence he once chose for peace now felt like isolation. But here's the truth science couldn't give Harold. Not yet, anyway. He wasn't powerless, because while aging may shift the way your body smells, you're not stuck with it. There are ways to ease it, soften it, even eliminate it, gently, naturally, without harsh chemicals or shame. But first, he had to stop blaming himself. And so do we. This change doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're less clean. It doesn't mean you've failed. It means your body is speaking differently now. And the answer isn't fear, it's curiosity. The answer isn't withdrawal, it's understanding. The answer is, you can smell good at any age. You can feel fresh, confident, connected. But it begins with compassion for yourself, for your body, for this new season of life. Gentle takeaways. 2. Nonanol is a natural compound related to aging, not bad hygiene. This scent forms due to oxidation of skin oils, influenced by hormone changes. Everyone over 60 produces it to some degree. It's universal, not personal. It's okay to talk about it. In fact, talking about it is the first step toward freedom. Harold didn't find these answers in one day, but he started asking the right questions. And that changed everything. Because once you understand what's happening, you can begin to take back control, kindly, gently, and with confidence. Chapter 2, Facing the Mirror. The emotional weight of odor and aging. Martha used to love perfume. For years, it was the last thing she did before leaving the house, a soft spritz of lavender behind each ear. It wasn't about impressing anyone. It was her signature, her armor, her whisper of confidence. But lately, even the perfume didn't feel like it used to. She still bathed, still brushed her hair every morning, still kept her blouses clean and pressed. Yet there were moments, quiet, awkward moments, when she caught a faint scent in the folds of her sweater, or when someone shifted away ever so slightly on the bus, or when her granddaughter wrinkled her nose before hugging her. The looks were never cruel, but they were enough. Enough to make Martha look at herself differently in the mirror, and to wonder, when did I become invisible and yet too noticeable all at once? For many older adults, body odor isn't just about the nose. It's about identity. We live in a world that celebrates youth and rarely speaks of aging with reverence. A world that markets freshness as young and anything else as a flaw to be fixed. So when your body changes, when it carries a scent you don't remember choosing, it can feel like a betrayal, like you've lost control, like you no longer belong. And worse, you might feel ashamed to talk about it. Shame is a quiet weight. It's not loud. It doesn't cry out. It simply pulls you inward, making you smaller, more careful, more withdrawn. Maybe you start canceling plans, avoiding close contact, standing further back in group photos, keeping your thoughts to yourself in conversations, not because you've changed, but because you're afraid others will notice that you have. That's what happened to Martha. She stopped going to book club. She turned down her neighbor's invitation for tea. She smiled politely when people called, but rarely called back. And slowly, the world around her became quieter. Not peaceful quiet, lonely quiet. But here's the truth. Martha hadn't yet realized she wasn't alone. So many older adults experience the same shift, but few ever say it out loud. Because odor is taboo. Because we're taught to whisper it, never name it. Because we think talking about it means admitting we're somehow less. But the opposite is true. Talking about it means claiming your story. It means choosing knowledge over fear. It means saying, my body is changing, but I am still worthy, still beautiful, still me. One afternoon, Martha finally opened up. To her doctor, to her daughter, and then to her friend Carol, who laughed gently and said, "Oh, honey, I thought it was just me." They talked for hours, shared routines, tips, even jokes. And for the first time in months, Martha didn't feel ashamed. She felt seen. Because when you bring something into the light, it loses its power to make you feel small. Here's what many people don't know. Body odor is not your identity. It is not a reflection of who you are. It's a signal, a biological shift that can be cared for, not feared. And caring for it doesn't mean hiding. It means honoring your body with love, not punishment. Gentle reminders. You're not alone in this. Feeling embarrassed doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It's okay to talk about your body, even the parts that feel uncomfortable. You deserve to feel fresh, respected, and confident at every age. You don't need to apologize for being human, for growing older, for changing. What matters is how you walk forward with kindness toward yourself. Martha still wears perfume, but now she does it with her chin a little higher because she knows the scent isn't what defines her. Her presence does. And no change in body chemistry can take that away. Chapter 3. Small habits, big impact. Everyday ways to smell better after 60. Harold stood in front of the mirror again, this time not in doubt, but with curiosity. It had been a few weeks since his visit to the doctor, a few conversations with friends, a few honest moments with himself. And for the first time in a long while, he was ready to do something. Not out of shame, but out of care. Let's try something new, he told himself, gently. Because aging doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting with grace. After 60, your body changes. That's the truth. But the good news? You don't need complicated routines or expensive products to stay fresh. You just need small, consistent, intentional habits. Habits that not only care for your skin, but for your spirit too. 1. Focus on the hidden zones. The key to odor control isn't just washing more, it's washing smarter. Odor-causing compounds like 2-nineol tend to concentrate in certain areas. Back of the neck, behind the ears, under the arms, around the chest and back, groin and feet. Using lukewarm water and a gentle, pH-balanced soap daily can help reduce buildup. Scrubbing too hard can irritate the skin. Be kind. If bending over is hard, a long-handled sponge or shower brush can make reaching easier. Harold swapped his old bar soap for a green tea-based body wash and noticed a difference within a week. 2. Stay hydrated. It sounds simple, but water flushes toxins and helps your skin stay healthy and less prone to odor. As we age, the sense of thirst dulls. You might not feel dehydrated, but your body still needs water. Aim for 6-8 cups per day, more if it's warm or you're active. Martha started keeping a water bottle on her nightstand. At first, it felt silly, but over time it became a quiet ritual, one that made her skin and digestion feel better too. 3. Rethink your diet. What you eat can shape how you smell. Spicy foods, garlic, onions, processed meats, and alcohol can exacerbate body odor, especially in older adults whose metabolism slows down. Instead, focus on leafy greens, spinach, parsley. Citrus fruits help neutralize odor internally. Green tea, rich in antioxidants. Fiber-rich foods to support digestion. And try reducing red meat, which takes longer to digest and can leave trace compounds in your sweat. Raymond didn't stop eating what he loved, but he rebalanced, and his daughter noticed it before he did. Dad, you smell fresher. 4. Change clothes and linens regularly. Older adults may sweat less, but odor can linger longer, especially in fabrics. Try changing undergarments daily, wearing natural fibers like cotton or bamboo, washing sheets and pillowcases every 5-7 days. Harold even began airing out his closet each week. The scent of musty jackets was replaced with a light herbal sachet. Small, gentle changes, big difference. 5. Specialized soaps or wipes if needed. There are now body washes designed for aging skin, specifically to combat 2-nineol. Look for ingredients like green tea extract, persimmon extract, baking soda, in moderation. For days when a full shower feels too tiring, body wipes or gentle washcloths can help with freshness. especially in target areas. These aren't signs of decline. They're tools of self-care, of preserving your comfort and confidence. 6. Airflow and freshness. Body odor isn't just about skin, it's also about your environment. Keep windows open when weather allows. Use air purifiers or fans for circulation. Avoid heavy perfumes or artificial sprays. They can mix poorly with natural scents. Martha added a few eucalyptus leaves to her shower and a small lavender diffuser to her room. The change was subtle, but for her, it was a return to softness. 7. Address the emotional side. Sometimes improving odor isn't just about soap and water. It's about the willingness to look in the mirror and say, I still matter, I still deserve to feel good. Because it's not just about how others perceive you, it's about how you feel about yourself. When you care for your scent, you're telling yourself that your presence is still welcome in the world. And it is. Harold didn't become a different man. All he didn't hide his age or try to smell young. He simply reclaimed his routine with grace, with knowledge, and with pride. Gentle reminders. Small changes done with love make the biggest impact. You don't have to fix anything. You're simply adjusting. Freshness isn't a luxury, it's a right. Your presence still deserves to be embraced by others and by yourself. Freshness after 60 isn't about fighting age. It's about honoring it. And when you do, you'll discover that the scent of aging doesn't have to be one of loss. It can be the quiet, clean, confident scent of wisdom. Conclusion: a different kind of freshness. The sunlight spilled gently across Harold's kitchen table as he stirred his tea. He had just returned from the market, something he hadn't done alone in months. He smiled as he set down a bag of apples, feeling a quiet pride in every step he took. Every conversation he had shared that morning. No one stepped away. No one looked uncomfortable. No child made a comment. But even if they had, Harold knew now, it wouldn't have broken him. Because what had changed was not just his soap or his habits, it was his mindset. He had moved from shame to self-respect, from withdrawal to gentle reinvention. He no longer feared his reflection. And that, he realized, was the real freshness he had been searching for all along. Not just a scent, but a lightness of being, a clarity of presence, a quiet self-acceptance that smelled like eucalyptus and lavender and something he hadn't felt in years. All around the world, people grow older every day. But growing older doesn't mean fading away. It doesn't mean becoming invisible. It doesn't mean giving up on the beauty of your presence. Your body may shift. Your skin may thin. Your hormones may change. But your worth, your dignity, your right to feel clean, confident, and proud, those never fade. This story was never just about odor. It was about all the unspoken fears we carry as we age. That we will lose our place. That we will be overlooked. That our bodies will betray us. But the truth is, your body is not betraying you. It's simply becoming more honest, more human, more tender with time. And when you approach it with love, when you treat it not as a problem but as a partner, something incredible happens. You begin to bloom again. In new ways, softer ways, wiser ways. So here's our final reminder to you, dear reader. You are not defined by scent, by skin, or by silence. You are defined by your presence, your kindness, your wisdom, your courage to continue showing up gently, bravely, fully. Whether you are 60 or 90, whether you live alone or in the heart of family, you are still becoming, still worthy of care, still worthy of comfort, still worthy of standing close to, without apology. Final, gentle reminders. Body odor after 60 is natural, common, and manageable. You are not alone, and there is no shame in noticing or addressing it. Small, mindful habits can bring huge improvements, inside and out. And above all, your presence is a gift, no matter your age. Thank you for walking with us through this story. We hope it reminded you of your strength, your softness, and your worth. We hope it brought comfort, clarity, and confidence back to your mornings. And we hope you remember this. Freshness is not something you lose with age. It's something you carry, gently, with wisdom, self-love, and care. Always, with deep respect and admiration for your journey. From all of us who believe that every stage of life is worth celebrating, thank you.